Hi guys and welcome to my channel. Today I have brought you another very interesting portfolio project. This is the dashboard that we will be going to design for bicycle shop, and here we have these slicers. If we click on any of these values, like if I want to see the values on the basis of month of January, so this will show me the data for the month of January for these 2 years. If I just want to see it for the 2021, so all these values will change accordingly, as you can see. So this is the dashboard, and it's we will design it purely in Microsoft Excel. Now if I click on these two buttons, we will see that this sunburst chart, this nice looking chart, is responding to these buttons as well. So we will be doing this project. Please stay with us, and at the end of this project you will have a lot to learn from it. So please keep watching. Before we begin the project, let me show you the underlying Excel database on the basis of which we will be creating the dashboard. This Excel file comprises 3 sheets. The first sheet is sales data, which has all the data set on the basis of which we will be doing our project. Then we have the pivot table, and in this sheet we will be creating all the pivot tables required for creating the dashboard. And then we have the dashboard, where we will be creating our final dashboard. For any dashboard, we will have to first create the structure, and for creating the structure we will use Microsoft PowerPoint, because it has some features like grids, lines and rulers, with the help of which we will be able to create a dashboard having the segments perfectly aligned to one another. So let's dive into Microsoft PowerPoint. So now as we are in the Microsoft PowerPoint, so the first step I'll click on this file menu, and I'll click on this blank presentation. I will remove these text boxes, and then I'll click on this view tab, and I will check these 3 options: ruler, grid lines, guides. Then I will go to the insert tab, and I'll click on this shapes, and I'll click on the rounded corners rectangle. I'll draw the rectangle. This rectangle will serve as the background container for the dashboard. Let me resize it. Let me also customize it. We will again go to the insert tab and click on the shapes, and we will again click on the rounded corners rectangle. And now we will create the various sections of the dashboard. Let me click on the format shape, and I'll apply it a gradient fill, and this is the fill I'm going to select. And I will also apply the borders. I'll make them dark gray. Now I'll copy this container and I'll paste it again. I'll copy it again and we'll paste it again. I'll create another copy and one last copy again. Let me resize it. Let me copy this container again, or let me drag it a little to the left. Let me copy it again and let me paste it, and I'll make a smaller container below this one. Let me copy, let me paste it again, and make a bit taller than this one. And then let me copy it again and paste it. Once the dashboard is ready, we will select all with Ctrl+A or Function plus A, and we will copy it from here and we will paste it in our Excel dashboard. Let me create the pages again. It's going to be the worksheet with pivot table, and then this is going to be the dashboard worksheet, and we will paste it over here. I will press Ctrl V, and this is our dashboard that we will be working on. Let me just make it a little bit smaller. So what we are going to do next, so now as you can see that I have inserted some icons into my worksheet, and you can also get them by simply clicking on this insert tab, and then there is the icons tab. When you click on it, a pop-up window will appear, and you can download icons based on your personal preferences. I have downloaded these icons relevant to my project, so let's start designing our dashboard now. So I'll first click on this and let me write the name. I'll write it as sales dashboard, and let me format it. I'll give it a black color. I'll make it bold, and I will also increase the size of it. Let me align it. Okay, and now I will drag this icon from here and will resize it to fit within the available space. Now I'll go to this home option again, insert, and I will insert a new shape. And write it like bicycle shop. Let me customize this. Make it this blue, and I will also remove any fill from the shape, so I'll click on this no fill and also no outline, and now I will format my text. I will select a font which is Comic Sans, and I'll make it bold. I will align them. Now we also have to create 4 more sections. The first one is for total sales, then profit and USD, then a profit percentage, then unit sold figures across the different segments, products and time periods. So let's do this. I will just copy this text from here, Ctrl C and Ctrl V, and I will write it like this. I will resize the font to fit within this section. and I will copy this and drag this icon into this section. Let me also change the color of it, so I will change the graphic fill into this blue color so it matches the text. Now for the total sales we will create a pivot table, so we will go to this pivot tables worksheet. So to create the pivot table that will provide us with the real-time sales for the dashboard, what I'll do, I'll click on this pivot tables worksheet, then I'll go to this insert and I'll click on this pivot table. Now it's asking for a range, so we will select on this sales data and I will write it like this, table 3, because this data we have given it the name table 3. I'll click on OK. Let me show you. So we have given this table the name table 3. Now to make things easier, we will just sort them by, is there any sorting option? Let me check. Fields sort A to Z. We will sort them alphabetically so we can easily select any fields from here. So the first thing we are going to select, now we will select sales. We will also select profit, and we will also select the units sold. So let me check this one. And to calculate the profit percentage, we will write it like this, profit percentage. And how are we going to calculate it? We will do like, we will divide the profit by the total sales and press enter, and then I'll click the convert this into percentage. I'll hit OK. So this is going to give us the percentage. So guys, as we want these 4 different values like sum of sales, sum of profit, sum of units sold and profit percentage, we want these values in our dashboard in these 4 sections. So for the total sales, what we will do, let me first convert these values into proper format. So I will remove the decimals and I will convert them into currency format cells. And now I'll choose this option, currency, and then English United States, and I'll hit OK. And now I will also do the formatting for this one. I don't need the decimals here, and I want this to be up to 2 decimal places. So okay, this is also fine. Now I want this value in my dashboard. So what I will do, I will just copy this total sales and I will paste it again, and I will make the font as Calibri and bold, and I will also change the font size to around 18. Then now what I will do, I will do the referencing here. So I will write it is equal to, I'll go to the pivot tables page, and here as we can see that this is the cell that has the values like total sales, which is sum of sales. So I will write it like this, A2, and I'll hit enter. So we can see that this is the value we have got. And now I will do some formatting as well. So what I can do, I'll click on it, I'll make it as maybe around 24 and bold. Let me do it again, second. Okay, maybe 22 is fine. Let me make it 22. Okay, this looks fine. Now we need another section here which is for the profit. So I will copy this and I'll paste it again, and I'll place it over here, and I will write it like this, profit $sign, and now I will drag this icon into this section, and I will do the formatting. So I'll change the fill color into this nice blue color, and now I will copy this value and I will paste it over here, and I will do the referencing again because I want the profit here. So what I will do, I will just change this value. So as we can see that the profit is in the B2 cell, so I will change this A2 to B2. Let me write it like this and I'll hit enter. We will do the formatting again. I'll make it 22 and I'll hit enter. So this is the value we got. Now we need another section, which is the profit percentage. So what I will do, I will copy this text, Control C and Control V. Oh, sorry, let me undo this step, and I will copy this with Control C, Control V, and now I will drag it. As these are, we are going to repeat the same steps, so let me do it a little bit fast. I'll pass forward the video. Please keep watching. Now we have to find the top selling product and the revenue generated by that product for this section of the dashboard. So what I will do, I'll go to the pivot tables, and let me click somewhere over here, and let me click on this insert tab and pivot table. Here we will provide it with the range or the table. So table 3 is the one that we are using, and then what I have to do, I'll have to drag the sales. Where are the sales? Let me sort them from A to Z, and now we have these sales. We will drag it into the values column, and we will have to the product ID, we'll have to drag it into the rows quadrant. And now what I'll have to do, I'll just remove this grand total from here, and the next thing I have to do, I will format it. I'll go to this home tab, and I'll just remove the decimals, and I'll make it like this. And now to find the product that is the top selling one, we will make use of the functions like max, match, and index. Let me show you how. Sorry, the first one is max. Now we will also apply the match function. Match, this is the value and this is the range, and I'll hit 0 and I'll hit enter. Now I will have to apply the index function as well. So this is the complete range, and comma, then again comma, and this time I will put 1 because I need the product. I'll hit enter. So this is the product that is making the highest sales, and the revenue it generates. So I will just copy this formula and I will paste it over here, and now I will edit this. Let me drag this to the correct position. and instead of 1 I will place 2 because I need the value this time. So this is the value, and I will make it as currency, remove the decimals, and here we go. So what I'll have to do next, I'll go to the dashboard again. I will first copy this, Control C, Control V, and I will paste it over here, and I will call it as the top selling product. Let me just, okay, we will drag it a little bit to the left, and now I will drag this this icon. I think we also have to apply the color that we did to the other icons. Okay, now what I will do, I will just copy this value and paste, and then I will drag it over here, and let me increase the size as well. Let me make it 24. Now what I will do, I'll do the referencing. So as we can see that the data is in this I6 cell, so I will just do one thing. I will replace this with I6 and I'll hit enter. This is gonna give me the product name. I'll have to just apply some formatting again to make it like this much bigger. I think this one is fine. Okay, now I will copy this and I'll paste it again, and this time I need the value or the revenue that the product is generating. So this time I will do the referencing again for the revenue, and I will make it bold and I'll make it like 24. So it looks fine now. Now we will move to our next section of the dashboard, and we will populate this section with a stacked column chart to visualize sales and profit trends. It is a great way to track how your profit is contributing to the overall sales performance. So let's do it. I'll go to the pivot table again, and I will click somewhere over here, and I'll go to this insert tab and pivot table again. I'll give it a range. I'll hit OK. So next up, first I will just sort these values, and now I will drag the sales into the rows quadrant, and I will drag this I want to find the profit by month, sales and profit by month. So I will drag the month into the rows quadrant, and then the sales into the values and profit to the values quadrant. Okay, now what I have to do next, I will just remove this grand total. I also have to do some formatting. So I will go to this home tab, and I will click on this, and I will remove the decimals, and alongside the pivot table we will create another tab which is for the profit, another column. And how do we calculate it? We will just simply divide this. 1 second, let me do it like this. E13 E13 divided by D13. This will calculate the profit, but just let me convert it into percentage, and I will drag it all the way to the bottom of the table, and this way we will get the profit from here. And now what I'll have to do next, I'll click anywhere in this pivot table, and I'll go to this insert tab, and I'll click on the insert recommended charts, and I'll click on the stacked column chart, and I'll click OK. Now I'll have to remove all the fields, and I'll also have to remove the legend and the grid lines. I only need the chart title, and let me rename it. I will give it a name as sales 000 and profit percentage by month. Let me also do the formatting. I'll go to this home tab, and I'll click on this bold. I'll make it 10, and I'll take the font as Comic Sans, and I will and I'll color it. Okay, it looks perfect. Now I will just copy or just cut it from here, and I'll paste it into my dashboard. And now what I'll have to do first, let me just do one thing. Format chart area, let me just remove the fill so we can see the underlying section of the dashboard. Now what we have to do next, I'll also remove the borders, no lines, and now I will reduce the size from 9 to let's say 6, and also reduce the size for this one as well. I'll hit enter, and let me increase the width of these bars. So I will go to this option and I will decrease the gap to 80%, and I will also do the change the fill color. So I will change it from this to this, and for the orange part, which is the profit, I'll change it from this to this. Now I'll also have to add labels, so I'll right click on it, add data labels. But these values are, I want these values to be in the form of percentage. So how do we do this? Let me right click on it and format data labels. Yes, we can do it from here. So I will uncheck this value and I will click on it again. I'll have to click on this option and I'll remove this value and I'll click on this one. And now we will have to provide it with the range. So let me give it the range, and it's going to be this percentage. Instead of values, I need these. So I'll hit enter. Okay. Now when I click again on this, so we will get the percentages of the profit monthly. So this is okay. So we are done with this part. Now we will move to our next section, which is this one. And in this section, I will show the sales generated by each customer. But as we have 150 customers and we're gonna show the sales generated by each customer using a bar chart. So how is this gonna be possible? Because we have this small area, and how we are going to adjust the 150 bar charts in this section. So it's going to be interesting, and let me show you how we can make it possible. So I will go to the pivot table again. Let me just okay, I will click over here and I will go to the insert tab and pivot table, and I will give it the range table 3, hit enter. The first thing I'm gonna do, let me sort them, and the first thing is the customer ID, and the second thing I need is the sales. So we have this this pivot table. Let me remove the grand total first. Let me also let me also do the formatting. So I'll go to home, I'll click on this comma and I'll remove any decimals. Looks perfect now. Now what I will do, I will go to this developer tab. If you don't see this developer tab in your Microsoft Excel, what you can do, you can go to this file menu and you can click on this options and then customize ribbon, and here you will see this developer. So if this is unchecked, you will check it and then you will be able to see that options in your menu or that tab in your menu. So I'll hit OK as I have already activated it. So I will go to this developer tab and I'll click on insert and I'll click on this scroll bar form control and I will try it over here. Now what I have to do next, I will right click on it and format control, and here I'll give it the minimum value, which is going to be 1, and the maximum value is going to be 150 because we have 150 customers and I want the window to be 5. So this will show me a list of only 5 customers at a time. And the cell link, let me click over here and I'll hit enter and OK. Now what we need to do next, we will provide it with the number of customers. So we will do it like this, count. We'll just count the values and hit enter. So these are the total number of customers. Now what I have to do next, I will write it like this, m minus 4. And why I am doing this, let me explain. As we can see that we have 150 customers and our scroll bar will show us a window of only 5 customers at a time. But I want this scroll bar to do one thing. When it reaches the 146 value, so it will show me the 146 index value and 147, 48, 49 and 150. This will show me these values, but I don't want to go it beyond 146 because then we will be seeing blank values. Because if it moves to 147, so it will show me the 147th value, 48, 49, 50th and 51, 151. But 151 we have no value for that index, so this will show us blank value and I don't want to let it go beyond 146. So what we can do, I will write a function like this, min, and it will select the minimum between these two and I'll hit enter. Let me first check if my scroll bar is working fine. So as you can see that when I move it down, up and down, these values are going to change accordingly. So the scroll bar is responding properly. We can also use this button. It's not showing up, I don't know why, but maybe there is some problem with the scroll bar. But we can use these buttons and we can also drag it. So the next thing I have to do, I will write in a formula, offset formula that will take 5 of these values from this pivot tables, like customers ID, and it will show us only 5 of them. So how are we gonna do this? Let me show you. So I will first give it a reference, which is in my case J4, and then I will give it the rows, which is O1, but I will do the, let me do one thing, O1, and I will do the absolute referencing. So I will hit F4, and then I will type 0, and the width of the window is going to be 5, and let me hit enter. So it's working fine. Now I just have to copy this and paste it over here, and it's gonna give me the values. And what I have to do, I will just remove these decimals and do the same steps as before. And now if I scroll this key, you can see that the window is changing the values accordingly. And when I reach 146, let me show you this thing. You can see the values over here. When I go down the scroll bar, it's 146. Now it will not be moving any further, although these values are being changed, but this one is not changing because we have done the trick with this scroll bar. So now it's not gonna show us the blank value. So this is what I was trying to tell you. Okay, now what I have to do, I'll go to this insert, and I'll go to this recommended charts, and I'll click on all charts and bar charts, and I'll hit OK. And now we will just change this chart style to this one. And now let me give it the name, the title, and the title is going to be like this. Let me just rename it: sales in dollars generated by customers. Okay, and let me do the formatting as before. I will make it blue, I'll make it 10, and I'll make it bold, and I'll select the font as Comic Sans, and now it's making sense. Okay. Now I will move this scroll bar and this chart to the dashboard worksheet. I will just cut it from here, and I will paste it over here, and I will also select this bar chart to the okay, I'll cut it and paste it over here. Now we will just do one thing. Oh, 1 second, let me go back 2 steps. I'll just do it again. Control V, and now we will resize it to our liking. So let me just do it. First of all, I will just remove the fill color from it, so you can see the underlying section. Format chart area. I don't need the fill, and I don't need the borders. Okay, I will now resize it to fit within this section. Let me just resize these axis titles as well. Let me make it 7, and let me also make them here. Maybe 7 is fine for these as well. Okay, now if we move this scroll, okay, we have to update one thing. I'll go to the format control, and the cell link has to be updated. So I will go to this pivot table, and I'll select this one, and I'll hit enter, and I'll hit OK. Okay, now it's working fine. Let me okay, it's working fine. See, so now this part is also done. It's showing us the sales generated by each customer, but 5 at a time, and the total customers are 150. So this is the way we do it. I think we also have to do one thing. If we can I think we have to remove these grid lines, and now it looks fine. Okay, so that was our sales generated by customers. So let's move to our next part. Next in our list is the donut chart that will show us the distribution of the sales across different countries, and this is a nice way of viewing the contribution of sales across the globe, the distribution of sales across the globe. So let's do this. Let me go to the pivot tables. I'll click over here and I'll go to this home tab, insert tab and pivot table. Here we will give it the range. Now what I will do, I will first let me sort them. I will drag the country into the rows quadrant and sales into the columns quadrant. So this is our pivot table. I will just remove the I will remove the grand total. Click over here and I will go to this option, show values as percentage of the grand total. And now what I will do, I will just remove the decimals from here. I'll click anywhere in this pivot table and I'll go to the insert tab, and from the recommended charts I'll click on this Y chart, and here I'll select this donut chart. I'll hit OK, and now what I have to do, go to this home tab. Let me click on this. Let me go to the design and I'll select this one. I will remove any fields from. Let me right click on it and remove it. Control Z, hide it, and let me resize it. So we will give it a title, and it's going to be sales percentage by country. And let me do the formatting again, make it as blue, bold, 10, and Comic Sans. Okay, let me just cut it from here and paste it into my dashboard. And now I will resize it. We will also do the formatting just to make it fit in this section of area, and make it no fill, no lines. We also have to do one thing. We will have to show the label, so I will right click on it, add data labels, and let me increase the size again, and I'll click on these labels. I'll make them bold, and now our nice looking donut chart is ready. We can also play with this just to make it a little bit better. So it looks perfect now. Now next in the list is the tree map chart, which will give us the sales percentages on the basis of segments. So how do we do this? Let me take you to the pivot tables again. I will go to this insert pivot table, range table 3, and now we gonna drag this segment to the rows quadrant and sales into the values quadrant. What we have to do next, I will just remove this thing, grand total, and now I will right click on it and show values as percentage of the grand total. And now I'll go to the home tab and I will remove the decimals from here. Now if we just if I click on this, any one of these inside this pivot table, and I go to insert and I go to this recommended charts, and if I click on the tree map, where is the tree map? This will show us nothing because tree map cannot work on the pivot table. So what we have to do, we will just copy these values from here and we will paste it over here. And this is going to be the segment, and this is going to be the percentage. Okay. Now I will just make a selection of this area, and I'll go to insert and recommended charts, and from there I will again click on the tree map and I'll click on this and I'll hit OK. So our tree map is ready. Let me just do some formatting to it. Now what I'll have to do, I will just remove these. 1 second. non-legend option. I think let me do it again. It's not here, so we will go to this. Okay, so I will remove this legend and I'll go to the data labels and more data label options, and here we will see the separator is going to be the new line and value. And I think it looks perfect now. So what we do next, we will first rename this chart. So sales percentage by segment. I'll go to this home option and I'll make it bold, and I will just cut it from here, Control X and Control V. Now we have to make it as no fill and no line. Okay, we also have to format. I forgot to do the formatting for this title, so we will do the same. We'll make it as blue and size is going to be 10, bold and Comic Sans. And let me resize this to fit in within this space we have. Okay, so our tree map chart is also ready now. And now as you can see that due to the limited space we have, these two segments we can't see their titles, but if we hover over these two segments we will see that it's mid-market and this is channel partner. So this is just because of the limitation of the space, but we can see it by hovering over it. Now the next part, our next task is to create a line chart which will show us the sales over month. So let's do it. So let me take you to the pivot table again. Now for this section we will be creating the line chart that will show us the profit by month. So let me go to the pivot tables again, and I'll go in here and I'll go to this insert and pivot table, and I'll give it the table which is table 3. And now what we have to do, let me sort these fields from here to Z. I will drag the month and the year into this rows column and the profit into the values order. Okay. One second. Okay, now what we have to do next, I'll remove the grand total. I will select all these values. I'll go to this home tab. I will remove the decimals. Now I will click within this pivot table and I'll go to this insert tab. And I'll go to this recommended charts and I'll go to the line chart option and select this one, stack line with markers, and I'll hit OK. And let me change the design. So if I select this one, no, this one is not good. Let me see the other options. This one is perfect. Okay, let me just remove the hide all these field buttons and remove the legends, and let me rename the title. It's going to be the profit in dollars generated over months. Let me do the formatting again. I will make it blue, bold, size is going to be 10, and it's going to be the Comic Sans MS. Now what I will do, I'll just cut it from here and I'll paste it into my dashboard. We will have to resize it to fit within this section. The first thing I'll have to do, I'll remove this fill color. to remove this white background, let me do one thing. If I click on this and click on notebook, okay, so it looks perfect. Now what we will have to do next, we will do one thing. Let me just make them smaller in size, this text. Okay, and we also will make these vertical axis title small as well. Let me also remove the border lines, and this looks perfect now. Now for the next section, which is this one, we will create a pie chart, and that will show us the unit sold per category. So let's go to the pivot table again. I'll click over here and I'll go to this insert tab, pivot table, table 3, and this time we are going to do one thing. Where is this product name? So we will select the product name as, okay, this is the product name, so we will drag this into the rows quadrant, and the unit sold, because we want to find the percentage of units sold product wise. So where is the unit sold? Let me again sort employment to Z, and this is going to be the unit sold. Now what we have to do, we have to remove this grand total. We also have to do the formatting. Go to this home and remove any decimals. Now I'll click in this pivot table and I'll go to this insert and I'll click on this insert charts, and this is going to be the pie chart, but this pie chart is good. Click on hit OK, and now I will change the design of this pie chart. This one is fine because it matches with the other charts that we have already created. I will remove this button and now I will give it a title. The title is going to be, so the title is going to be units sold split percentage, and let me just do the formatting again. 10 blue, and it's going to be the Comic Sans. Okay, what I have to do next, I'll just cut it from here and I'll paste it into my dashboard worksheet, and I will resize it, but let me just remove the lines and the borders. Okay, and data labels. One thing I have to do, let me just cancel this. I made a mistake. Let me do one thing. Control Z. I'll make these as the grand total percentage of grand total, and what I will do, I will just remove this thing, and now I will go to this insert and recommended charts. Where is the pie chart? And I'll click this one and I'll hit OK, and I'll go to the design, this one, hide any buttons, units sold split percentage, and let me format it again, blue, bold, and Comic Sans, and 10. Now I will just cut it from here and I'll paste into the dashboard worksheet. And now we will have to remove the fill and the lines from here, and we just have to resize it to fit within this section. But I'll also have to add the data labels, and now I will resize it just to make it properly adjusted within this space. So it looks fine now. Now we have to move to the next section. Now to make this whole dashboard dynamic, we will make the use of slicers, and for that let me go to the pivot tables again. I'll click anywhere in these pivot tables and I'll go to the insert tab and I'll click on the slicer. Here I will need the month because we need slicers on the basis of months and years. So let me click on month and year. So now we have two slicers. Let me click on this. I'll make it as 2 columns and I'll also make it as 2 columns. Now we will have to do the formatting for this, but we cannot directly customize in these already available format. So what I'll have to do, I'll just duplicate it first. I'll give it a name, my slicer, and now next we have what we have to do. We'll go to this whole slicer and format it, and go to the font. I'll select the comic font. And I'll make it bold and size is going to be 10. Now I'll go to this header and I'll click on the format and I'll again select Comic Sans. I'll make it bold and I'll make this as 9 and I'll hit OK and I'll hit OK again. Now if I click on this and I click my own formatting, this will be applied to all these slicers. Now what we will have to do, we will just cut them from here. And we will paste it over here. One second, Control Z. I'll click on this. I apply the formatting. Now I'll cut it from here and we'll paste it over here, and also cut this one, this, and we'll paste it over here. Now what I have to do, we'll just fit these slicers within this section. So let me do it. Let me resize it first. Let me also take this one. Okay, now if we click on these tabs, you will see that only this slicer, which is the unit source. Let me do one thing. Let me just make it as full screen. Now if we click on these two buttons, so we can see that only this slicer is responding, but no any other one is responding. So how do we connect all these charts to this slicer? I will right click on it and I'll click on the report connections, and we will connect all the slicers to these all the charts to these slicers. Let me hit OK. So now when I click on these two buttons, or if I click OK, we also have to make connection with this slicer. So we will go to the report connections again, and we will check all these pivot tables, and we'll hit OK. So now when we click on any of these buttons, the slicers, the charts will respond accordingly. So this was all about the slicers. Now we will dive into our final task, and this time we will create the sunburst chart. Sunburst chart is actually used for representing data at multiple levels. In this example, we will create the sunburst chart for the products for sales created by the product at different years. So let's do this, and for that we will go to the new sheet. We will create this pivot table in a new sheet. So I'll go to this insert tab, I'll click on the pivot table and give it a range table 3, and now what we will do, we will drag that. Let me sort them first. We will drag the product name and year into the rows quadrant and the sales into the values quadrant. Now if we want to create a sunburst chart by just clicking within this table and going to the insert and then selecting this option, it will give us an error. So how do we solve this issue? Let me just 1 second. Just copy these values and paste it as a second. Copy it, we will paste it over here as values, and we will do one thing. We will just rename this column as sales, and we will make it a table from this selection. We will select these cells and we will make a table of it. Now what we have to do next, we will format this table. We will add YR in each of these cells to make it more appealing. And now what we will have to do, we'll just drag it and 1 second. If I drag this to the bottom, no, this is not correct. Let me do one thing. Let me just copy these two values and paste it over here, and now we will select these 4 cells and we will drag it down. Now it looks fine. So what we have to do next, so now we will just click somewhere over here and we'll go to the recommended charts again, and this time when we click on the sunburst chart, where's the sunburst chart, this one, and this time this option is working. So we will have to do the formatting based on our personal preferences. We will remove these legend and into the data labels. We will go with more data label options. We will make it as a new line, and we need the value. And one thing we have to do, we have to click on this home. We'll make it around 7. cut it from here, Control X, and we will paste it in this section. We will resize it according to the available space, and we will remove the fill, and we will also remove the borders. So I think our chart is looking perfect now. Now one last step we have to do. Let me click on this slicer. Let me take it a little bit. Okay, we will add a slicer to this chart just to enhance its functionality, and we will add the slicer on the basis of the year. So what I will do, I'll go to this sheet. Let me rename this sheet Sunburst. Okay, I will click anywhere in this chart table, and I'll go to the insert and slicer, and I'll select here, and I'll hit OK, and I'll make it as 2 columns, and I will select this formatting, and I'll cut it from here and I'll paste it right over here. And as we don't need this header for this slicer, so we will go to this slicer settings, and from there we will just uncheck this thing, display header, and hit OK. So it looks much nicer now. One thing we can do with this slicer, like this white background is not looking good. So what we can do, we will just click on it, we'll go to slicers, and we will right click on this format, and we will format it, and then what we will do, we will just change this fill color to this, and let me hit OK. So these slicers are now looking more nicer than before, so I think that looks good now. Now we will just click the functionality of the slicer if it is working on this Sunburst chart. So it's working fine. So I think this was all about this project, and we will call it a day. And if you have any questions, you can drop your questions in the comment section, and we will respond as soon as possible. Finally, we will check whether this chart is responding to the slicer or not. So if we click on these buttons, we will see that the chart is responding perfectly. So with this, we will conclude the end of our project. If you have learned anything from this project, please subscribe to our channel, hit the bell icon, and like this video. We will be uploading more content in the near future. And for now, please stay safe and happy, and God bless you.